What's up fellow hunters, Nox here, welcome to another exciting build video. Today we're going to talk about the new best dual blade build that doesn't rely on any health draining skills like dereliction. I will show a non-augmented budget version first that is super easy to make, and a upgraded version with augments right after to give you some extra ideas. Let's go! Blade Storm. Even the budget version of this build is incredibly powerful. Before we jump in, don't worry about the talisman if you don't have a similar one yet. To get all the essentials, all you need is one with Dragon Conversion level 2 and one level 2 slot. And that is actually very common now. I'm using the Kushala dual blades as example here, but we're gonna see all of the best weapon choices after the build. To increase our damage, we crank up the affinity as high as possible with Critical Eye and Weakness Exploit. Along with that, we of course have Critical Boost to get the most out of the critical hits. Since our main focus is elemental damage here, we of course have level 5 of whatever element we choose. Then we have Element Exploit for a 10 to 15% increase to elemental damage on weak spots. Critical Element level 3 will add another 15% when landing critical hits. Depending on the element, we also get to add Kushala or Teostra Blessing for an additional 10% increase to ice, water, or fire. Burst will add further damage as well when landing continuous hits. And of course, we have Dragon Conversion to give us even more element attack. Since we already covered the skill in detail in previous videos, I'm just gonna give a short summary. On the blue scroll, we get plus 15 to every element resistance after hitting the monster a certain number of times. And on red, all of your combined element resistance is transformed into element attack at a rate of 25%. This will give us another big boost to element attack. With everything active, my element went from 107 all the way up to 234. That is incredibly high for a build that doesn't rely on any health draining skills. Next, we have one of the core skills of the build, Heaven Sent. At level 3, this has two massive benefits for dual blades. One, we get infinite stamina, so we can dodge and attack as much as we like. And two, we don't lose sharpness anymore, which is of course great for any weapon type that uses a lot of sharpness. In addition to that, we also still have the effect of Heaven Sent level 2, meaning that we can also restore 50 hits of sharpness by scroll swapping if we need to. Of course, an insane skill like this doesn't just come for free. In order to activate it, you have to not take damage for 15 seconds, and it will deactivate if you get knocked back. Good thing is, this is much easier than it sounds. We have 3 skills to make activating and keeping Heaven Sent as easy as possible. First, we have the combination of Wirebug Whisperer level 3 and Wind Mantle level 1. Together, these two will greatly increase Wirebug recovery speed. This will pretty much give us constant access to Silkbind moves, making it super easy to dodge attacks with the Shrouded Vault. And in case we do run into trouble, we also have Intrepid Heart, allowing us to take one hit without losing Heaven Sent whenever the gauge is filled. These 3 skills combined make it a lot easier to keep Heaven Sent active. The Wirebug Whisperer and Wind Mantle combo will also greatly increase DPS, since this will also let us use the amazing Spiral Slash move a lot more often. The synergy between skills here is phenomenal. For a little bit of added comfort, we also have Shock Absorber. The stamina surge in the build is nothing more than a bonus that comes with the waist. The goal here is of course to get one level of Dragon Conversion as an augment or a better talisman. That would allow us to replace the waist, which we'll see in the upgraded version. If you're gonna use these exact parts, the augment recommendations will look like this. One level of Powder Mantle or Mail of Hellfire has great additional value. Outside of that, extra slots are nice to have as usual. As we know, Furious goes very well with Dragon Conversion, so it gets a mention here as well. It's a great bonus to have, but definitely not necessary. Before we take a look at the upgraded version of the build, these are the other best weapon options. We have Narwa for Thunder, Almadron for Water, Magmadron for Fire, and the Insect Blades for Dragon. Yup, we are not using the Valstrax dual blades for this build. For Water, Fire, and Dragon, we want to add a Handicraft plus 4 decoration into the build. This will give them 20 hits of purple sharpness, which is easily going to be enough with Heaven Sent. If you have to drop something, I recommend the Element Exploit plus 4 decoration. For the Rampage decoration, we can choose between Elembane or one of the anti-species decorations. I recommend using whatever you feel more comfortable with. Now we're going to take a look at my version of the build that includes augments and some part variations. We'll get to what exactly my augments are in a moment as well. The talisman I'm using for this one has 3 levels of Dragon Conversion, so in my case I didn't have to go for it with an augment. The attack boost is a nice bonus on my talisman, but not necessary at all. You can use the exact same talisman I showed before. As you can see, the upgraded version of the build is an absolute monster. Most of you already know that I don't use any mods, so this is very manageable. The first thing I did was replace the waist with the Risen Shagaru one. This will give us plenty additional slots as well as access to Frenzied Bloodlust. The skill will give us an additional wire bug when overcoming the effect of Frenzy. How long we get to keep that wire bug will depend on the level of the skill. This will give us even more freedom with Silk Bind attacks. Next, I maxed out all of the elemental skills and went for as much attack boost as I could fit into the build. But to be honest, everything beyond attack boost level 4 on a element build is basically a bonus on top of a bonus, and not necessary at all. Feel free to go for something else entirely if you like. Something like Evade Window, for example, goes very nice with this as well. For even more additional damage, I added one level of Powder Mantle and Mail of Hellfire. With all that, the overall damage output has gotten a significant upgrade. Wind Mantle went up to level 2 as well, but that wasn't actually planned for. This is what my current augments are looking like if you're trying to recreate a similar version of the build. You can of course get any of the augments on whichever part you want. If you're getting the 3rd level of dragon conversion with an augment, I recommend using the arms for this. These are perfect for the skill plus augmenting method. You can get rid of the latent power for a much easier chance at dragon conversion. Aside from that, you can literally go for anything you like. If you do get Powder Mantle or Mail of Hellfire in the process, those have good additional value. Everything else can be added into the build with simple slot upgrades. There are some other builds that use Berserk or Frostcraft with slightly higher DPS, but this is by far the best template for very high damage output while still being comfortable to play, and also staying adaptable to all situations. Make sure to check out the other builds for all kinds of weapons on the channel so you don't miss anything you might enjoy. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.